There is a specific reason today feels heavier than usual if you are a Taurus, and it has nothing to do with your mood. Somewhere between the demands of your family and the demands of your career, a genuine planetary standoff is happening above you right now. And by the end of this, you will know exactly why you feel pulled in two directions at once, and more importantly, what to do about it. Here is what is actually happening in the sky today. The sun, sitting in your fourth house, the house of home and roots, is in direct opposition to Pluto in your 10th house, the house of career and public reputation. In Western astrology, this is one of the more intense standoffs a chart can show, because it is not a gentle nudge, it is two enormous forces pulling from opposite ends of your life. Home wants your presence. Career wants your performance. And today, both are convinced they deserve to win. This is not a once-a-year fluke either, it is an annual pattern, which means your chart has seen this fight before. And if you have felt this tension in past years around this time, that is not a coincidence. But here is what almost every horoscope misses about this transit. Quietly working in the background, Neptune in your 12th house is forming a supportive sextile to that same Pluto. Neptune here represents intuition, the quiet inner knowing that operates beneath conscious thought. So while the Sun and Pluto are having their very loud argument, Neptune is standing off to the side, offering you something the argument itself cannot: clarity. If something feels off with a demand today, whether from a boss, a client, or even a relative, that instinct is worth trusting. Meanwhile, if we shift to the Vedic or sidereal lens, which calculates the sky slightly differently, the moon's position in Sagittarius is doing something entirely separate but equally relevant. In Vedic tradition, this placement is associated with heightened mental sharpness and resilience, the kind of energy that helps you spot an opportunity hiding inside a problem instead of just seeing the problem. So while the Western picture shows you a conflict, the Vedic picture shows you the mental tool you already have to navigate it. Two different systems, two different skies technically, but pointing you toward the same conclusion. You are more equipped for today than the tension suggests. Take a breath here, because this is where today's story actually turns personal. In relationships, this Sun-Pluto opposition does not usually show up as a breakup level event. It tends to show up smaller and more familiar than that. A relative who suddenly needs to be right. A partner who wants your attention exactly when work wants it too. A sibling who turns a simple conversation into something with more ego in it than it needs. You may have noticed that lately, small disagreements at home have felt bigger than they should. That is this transit, not a flaw in your relationships. The move here is not to fix everyone's feelings or play referee. Many people with this placement report that the calmer response, the one where you simply excuse yourself from a drama that is not yours to solve, tends to preserve the relationship better than staying and trying to win it. Here is where it gets interesting, because that same energy does not stay in your personal life. It walks straight into your job. At work, this opposition often shows up as someone treating their timeline as automatically more urgent than yours. A boss pushing a deadline. Client acting like their request outranks everything else on your plate. It is worth asking yourself, quietly, whether this is a genuine emergency or a loyalty test disguised as one. The energy today leans toward the latter more often than not. You do not need to prove your commitment by absorbing every demand that lands on your desk. A calm, clear answer about what you can realistically deliver tends to carry more weight than an overextended yes that you will end up resenting by evening. We will come back to how that same restraint helps you financially in a moment. But first, notice the pattern here. Home pulling, career pulling, and you in the middle, being asked to referee two forces that were never yours to reconcile in the first place. On the financial side, today is not about big moves. It is about steadiness under noise. If news arrives about a job opportunity or a financial shift, the energy favors curiosity over impulsiveness. Look closely, but keep your feet on the ground rather than leaping toward it immediately. This is a day for gathering information, not signing anything life-changing. Here is what makes today genuinely rare, and this is worth sitting with. Two completely different astrological systems, Western and Vedic, calculating the sky through different lenses, are independently pointing you toward the exact same lesson today. Protect your energy by choosing clearly instead of trying to satisfy everyone. The Western sky shows you the conflict. The Vedic sky shows you the mental sharpness to handle it without losing yourself in it. Most people scrolling past their horoscope today will miss that these two traditions are, in their own languages, saying the same thing. You will not. That same clarity extends into how your body and mind are holding up today. If your usual routine slips, whether it is a missed workout or a skipped morning ritual, this is not the day to be hard on yourself about it. Stress tends to build faster than usual under this kind of planetary pressure. So the more useful response is slowing your breathing when you notice tension rising, rather than pushing through it. Some Vedic practitioners associate today's mental sharpness, tied to the moon's placement, with the color blue, and wearing it is a simple, universally safe way to lean into that clarity if it appeals to you. If you are drawn to remedies beyond that, some Vedic astrologers do recommend Saturn-related practices, such as specific mantras, for individuals whose personal birth charts support them, though that is not something to apply broadly without your own chart being read. Gemstone prescription especially requires real individual analysis, not a blanket recommendation for an entire sign. Bringing this back to where we started, home. The family tension from that Sun-Pluto standoff might resurface today as a relative getting a little too invested in being the loudest voice in the room. Perhaps you have realized that in weeks like this, the instinct to fix, smooth over, or manage everyone's feelings usually backfires. Naming the conflict honestly, rather than absorbing it silently, tends to land better. Interestingly, this is also a day where looking backward helps you move forward. With Jupiter's energy building toward a significant alignment soon, there is real value in reconnecting with family stories, old traditions, or the people in your lineage who faced hard things before you. Even a short conversation with someone older in your family, or a quiet moment with an old photograph, can offer a kind of courage that is hard to manufacture on your own. If travel comes up with friends today, plans may need more coordination than usual. Everyone pulling in a slightly different direction is very on theme right now, so a little extra communication up front saves a lot of friction later. Spiritually, this entire day is really asking one question. Can you hold your own center while two legitimate forces pull from opposite sides? That is the real test hiding underneath the horoscope. For anyone who wants the quick version to carry through the day, your color is blue, your favorable window falls between 4 and 5 in the afternoon, and your underlying theme is boundaries over overpromising. So if today has felt like too many people want too much of you at once, that is not your imagination. And it is not a flaw in how you are handling things. It is a real, nameable planetary pattern, one that both Western and Vedic traditions independently confirm. Name the conflict instead of absorbing it. Offer realistic timing instead of a rushed yes. Protect the one commitment that matters most today, and let everything else wait its turn. That single boundary will carry you further than any amount of quiet self-sacrifice ever could. And if this kind of day-to-day clarity is something you want to keep finding, staying close for tomorrow's reading might be the smallest, most useful thing you do for yourself all week.